Hey everybody, I think we should talk a little bit about the launch of Elementor 4.0 because this is a big deal, right? I make this video because I get a ton of questions whether we can finally start building client websites now with 4.0. So to answer that question, I think it's a good idea to take a look at what we have and what we don't have yet, and then that should answer that question. Okay, let's get into it. So on March 31, one day before April, Elementor announced 4.0. And that meant that everybody could update from something with a 3 to a 4. And I looked back in history a little bit. 3.0 was launched in, 2025? No, it was not 2025. If you scroll down, you can see that the comments here are from 5 years ago. So we have been in version 3 for 5 years, which is the majority of Elementor's life. And for me, and I know many of you, that's actually a big deal. And what's also an important fact is that all of the existing sites will stay the same. It's not that with this V4, all of the websites are automatically changed to the new version somehow. The only thing that changes, well, let's actually try it on this website, is that you get this pop-up and you can activate the new widgets and then it will look like this. So the atomic elements and atomic form, they are just on top of the already existing widgets we have right now. The atomic form only shows up if you have Elementor Pro because form is a pro widget, which are now elements. It's not one widget anymore. And for brand new sites, this is turned on by default. So what do we have right now? Okay, so what we have is a new global styling system. This is the thing that I am most excited about because we can take our global styling to a whole new level. And this is mainly with classes, variables, and also with components. We also have a new container model. So instead of having the container and the grid, we now have a div block and a flex box. A div block is just a simpler version of the flex box. And here you can already see we don't have the grid yet. And some other widgets have also been replaced. So for example, icon is now just an SVG. The button is replaced, divider, a dedicated YouTube widget next to the video widget, and the tabs widgets, and of course the default heading image paragraph. So that's awesome because all of these atomic elements are super smart, super light. But now let's tackle the elephant in the room. What is missing? I already told you one of the things, which is grid. And actually it kind of looks like the grid is here because if you click on the plus over here and then on the plus and you click on grid, it looks like you have the grid, but this is still the old grid. So this is also something they should update in this plus area. But the most important widget, in my opinion, which is still missing, are the loop widgets, because these allow you to play around with dynamic content. If you have ACF or Jet Engine or any type of dynamic content, you need to be able to load that in. So we need a replacement for the loop grid, the loop carousel, and the taxonomy filter. We don't need a replacement for these two because this is actually from a long time ago before we even had the loop grid. And there are many other essential widgets missing. For example, a proper menu widget, the carousel. And yes, I know these has containers and you can drag atomic elements in there, but this is still the old system. What about the off canvas? What about something like a counter? Then there's also a limitation in terms of how many classes you can use. So right now, you can add a bunch of classes, but the max is 100, which for some people is not enough. I personally don't like a system that's like incredibly big, but I think Elementor should allow you to import your own system, a system that you like, and that can have more than 100 classes. And then lastly, the atomic form. It is here in the new atomic style, as you can see, but there's not much you can do. You cannot connect it to your email marketing software, add a webhook. The amount of input field types is actually less than what we had before. I haven't found the multi-step feature yet. And I'm now pointing out the biggest things, but there's probably some more stuff. If you know some more stuff, then please put it in the comments because I want to have a list to check whether V4 can catch up to V3 already. But to get to kind of like a conclusion, it feels like an upgrade and a downgrade at the same time. And let me be clear, I am very positive about Elementor's new Atomic editor. This is awesome, this is a step in the right direction, but I'm just not sure why this exactly was the moment where they decided to go from V3 to V4. Again, it's been 5 years since we've been in V3. So then as a user, I expect when V4 launched that it would be a massive upgrade, at least what we had in V3, but then better. That's what you expect with a new version, right? And I'm not the only one who thinks this. I send out a newsletter to my email subscribers and I asked everyone the question, would you have called this a 4.0 release? And I got like 50 responses and everybody said no. I want to read you a few of the responses that I got. I will blur out the names for privacy reasons. This person said, disappointed and honestly a bit baffled. There's no obvious reason to rush a V4 launch this incomplete. For now, V3 elements are safer to build. The potential is real and the direction is exciting. But this feels more like one of those AAA PC games that ships before it's ready. It would have been a safer move to keep V3 as the default, but with V4 available as an opt-in beta, as it was before. Yes. Another person says, it feels incomplete and not completely something I can rely on for creating websites for clients. This person says, the paying and real customers are the testers, where real projects become the testing environment. We are paying for a product that is fully working, not a product that does half of the job. This person said, I've been a long-time Elementor user, but I feel let down by Elementor. This person says this is still 3.xx. The new global styling is powerful, but those missing features make this upgrade fall short. This person said, I feel like many of us have been waiting 1 or 2 years for V4 to finally drop, yeah. And now that it's here, it doesn't feel finished. And here he says something interesting. To me, it feels like they rushed the release, probably because the pressure from AI builders and competing tools, rather than making sure the core product is truly ready. The result is a bit confusing for the user perspective. Yeah, and I think that is the main problem I have with it, because right now, what can we do? Me as a content creator, but also me as somebody who works for clients, I cannot really start using it right now because the moment I start building with it, I will run into limitations. And they've been hyping this up for 1 or 2 years, and I have been part of hyping this version up. Everybody was talking about V4 for such a long time, but it's still not production ready. Yes, the features that are here are production ready. I literally rebuilt my own website with it in a live stream, but this is a very simple website. It's just one page with a few text boxes and some hover animations, but I've been also trying to build full websites with it. There's also some bugs, by the way, which are still present. And of course, every software has some bugs. But what can I do right now? First of all, does it even make sense for me to make a video right now on the new Atomic form, for example? Because then I have to make another video in half a year from now when it's fully done. I don't want to make this video 2 times. I know many of you are part of my Elementor Pro Workflow Mastery course. I want to update this course, but I can't really. And this is a bummer because I really want to record these tutorials that I have prepared. So I have to come to the unfortunate conclusion that it's not ready for client work yet, because what's going to happen if you start building with V4 elements right now, you're going to run into limitations and then you have to go back to V3 elements. And then what are you going to do? Put a reminder in your calendar that in half a year from now, you're going to come back to that website and then hopefully you can finally replace everything. No, that's not what you want. What you want is you want a full V4 version that's done. And then you want to go in and start replacing elements. And also for new websites, I don't want a downgrade and upgrade at the same time. I want a full replacement of the V3 features plus some new cool stuff. And before that moment is here, I'm not going to recommend anyone to start building client websites with the Atomic editor. And in the meantime, I will be sitting on tutorials I have prepared. I will start releasing some stuff. I'm building a framework. I'm doing some cool stuff with Claude. But there's also so much happening in the market, right? The AI site builders are becoming incredibly good. I'm gonna have some lovable content soon. So I just want to say to the Elementor team, because I know they're gonna watch this video, I would highly recommend to put all of the resources into finishing this version, make sure it's at least version 3, because we're in a very changing market. The competition is getting better and better. You guys have to get to work fast, because I think otherwise the motivation will drop, and that's not what you guys want, because the new Atomic editor is so much more powerful. We can all see that, but I just expected more from 4.0 when we have been in V3 for 5 years. And I want Elementor to win, but I have to be honest about the current situation. For you watching, let me know what you think in the comments, and I will try to keep you up to date about this. Okay.